Let's rock, baby.
Sorry, hello. I was just playing Devil May Cry 3 on my Nintendo Switch. And that's actually the topic today. Hello. So, I'm doing a 3-part review on the Devil May Cry series, starting with the PS2 era, which includes Devil May Cry 1, Devil May Cry 2, and Devil May Cry 3, including a special edition. Now, the footage I've actually gathered for this comes from the HD collection, which has been ported on the Switch, the Steam Deck, and the PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, and Xbox One. So I'll be starting off with Devil May Cry 1, which introduces us to Dante. But before we start talking about DMC1, I need to tell you about the backstory about the game, its development, all that. So, the game was originally going to be called Biohazard 4. In English, it would be called Resident Evil 4. It's the original prototype for it, but they decided to scrap it and use Biohazard 2.8, which became Resident Evil 3. And thereon, they made a new version, which became Resident Evil 4. Now, the plot of this game is still the same as the original version of Biohazard 4, but a lot of it's just changed. Instead of the character being called Tony Redgrave, he's called Dante. The island is still called Melody Island. They also still include the main character Dante's brother, Virgil. I can't remember what his other name was, but he was originally going to be in it as well, because it's going to be like a Chris Redfield and Claire Redfield kind of feel they wanted to go for. But that got cancelled. The implement a lot of the assets in the creating this Devil May Cry 1. So the game starts off with Dante being in his office, just waiting for a call, because he is a demon hunter. He's half demon, half human. And he gets contracts from people to kill demons, so he has to wait in his office called Devil May Cry, which is funny, and he waits. But as he's waiting for a call, a woman crashes her bike into the building, tries killing him, and gives him a contract to defeat the demon King Mundus. And this woman, to give him the contract's Trish, she appears in this game 4 and 5. She is a demonic clone of Dante's mother, but she's not technically Dante's mother. She doesn't have the memory. She's created by Mundus to kill Dante. So now Dante and Trish go to Melody Island to get Mundus, and that's where the game starts. It feels like Resident Evil 1 at the start, and the main entrance building is more like Resident Evil 2's police station, but a bit altered. Looks a bit more like Resident Evil 2 Remix building, but yeah. The controls have aged a bit, as you would have to hold in this button here, your right 1 trigger, and spam your square X Y button to actually shoot, which kind of gets a bit annoying. But Dante actually fights many different demons in the castle while he's trying to get the Mundus, because he has to find a way to get to the underworld to fight him. He fights the demon's Phantom, who is... Whenever you first find him, you think Spider, but no, he's not a spider, he's a scorpion. Which is weird. Why would you go with a more spider design than just automatically give him a tail? Because he's more arachnid than spider, because he doesn't have, like, pinchers. He just has spider legs. It's really confusing. He also has to fight Griff, a giant electric bird. Phantom, a lion that can shape its form into any sharp object. And Nightmare, who is very, very annoying, and I had to restart the entire mission after I died. So, yeah. You also get a few different weapons while you're exploring the entire island. You get the Force Edge, which is your first weapon, which later becomes a new weapon called the Devil Sword Sparta, which is Sparta's sword. There's also the melee weapons Eartriff, which are like the fire god from Final Fantasy. It's yeah, it is boots and fists. It's like that in a few games where it's just, instead of just having melee fists, it's both feet and hands. It's weird, but yeah, he collects that. He also has to fight a demon called Neo Angelo, which, after he defeats him, it's discovered that it's actually Virgil, the guy I was talking about earlier, who Dante lost years ago, which I'll actually be talking about once we get to DMC3, because DMC3 is a prequel to all the games. It's very confusing, I know. So, after defeating Neo Angelo, Dante gets the other half of his amulet that his mother gave both him and his brother. Now that he has that, the Devil Sword Sparta awakens, as the perfect amulet is what fully unlocks the power of the sword. Okay. Now that Dante's got the Devil Sword Sparta, he can now get into the underworld and fight Mundus, who is a giant statue with angelic music, which confuses me. Why is he a statue? Shouldn't it be more like demon-like? It's just weird design, but it was 2001. There was a bunch of weird silent games that year, like Sonic Adventure 2, which I actually like. Very good game, recommended as well. But the Mundus fight's annoying, as there's 3 different versions you have to do. One in the air and Devil Trigger, which is the alternate form you can get later on with the power of demonic powers / devil arms. I died about 4 times in that fight. It was not fun, but I beat him. We have Trish is dead now. Mundus killed her because she betrayed Dante. Dante saved her from Nightmare, he's just slime. And you have to turn lights on to fight him. It's very annoying, but once you get the Mundus, he has Trish, he kills Trish, and that's where your fight begins, which is really annoying. So, cheesiest line happens after that fight where Dante just picks up Trish's body saying,
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
And the actor, voice actor, had a voice break while doing that. His voice broke when he did it. He loved it, and the people recording the audio for him loved it, and the captain in the game. So, none of Mundus has been defeated. Dante has to leave the island before it implodes on itself. So he has to run all the way back from the underworld, go back up, and try and get away out. But as he's getting out, he gets thrown into the sewers and has to fight Mundus in the human world, where he can't damage him now because the Sparta has been given to Trish's dead body. Talking about Trish, she magically comes back from the dead to help Dante. How she came back, I don't know, but Dante beats him, and there was no way for him or Trish to get out. Then the plane that's somehow in one of the buildings, in the building, sorry, of the castle that hasn't been, no one's been there in hundreds of years, opens up. Just comes straight down, and they fly out through the sewers, which doesn't make any sense. And it reminds me a lot of the jet ski segment in Resident Evil 4, so they obviously brought that over from Devil May Cry and probably put it in the main game. But once you escape the island, that's where the game ends. The controls are clunky, surprisingly. The gameplay's still fun, even though a lot of the puzzles are annoying. I do give the first Devil May Cry an 8 out of 10. Now, about Devil May Cry 2, I played it, I got up to mission 8, killed the helicopter about 3 or 4 times, got very angry, and gave up. It is the worst game ever. I would not recommend playing Devil May Cry 2. But, in placement of not actually, showing you Devil May Cry 2, I have enlisted the help of one of my friends to review the anime. So, here's Josh talking about the DMC anime that's in between 1 and 2. So, go ahead, Josh. Tell us all about it.
I saw the first episode of the DMC anime, and what I saw I liked, but there were parts I didn't like. And I will go through my thoughts on episode 1 and see if I would recommend it to you. I like that this anime takes place after DMC 1 and that Dante has a similar outfit from that game. So for people who don't like DMC 2, or if they think the gap between DMC 2 and 4 is too big, then this show is great at filling you in. At this point in the story, Dante has been fighting demons for roughly 7 years, and he is used to all of their functions and tricks, where he can see through demons' disguises in a bar, and he knows how to take them out quickly to the point where he isn't even afraid of them anymore, and he can drop one-liners to show that he's not afraid. The DMC anime adds new characters to the DMC series, like Patty Lowen and Morrison, who shows up in later entries as cameos, specifically in Devil May Cry 5. The plot of episode 1 is that Dante is hired to be Patty's bodyguard, since she is the heir to a huge family fortune, and that demons are attacking her because of that. At first, Dante doesn't want to protect Patty, but since Dante needs to pay off a huge amount of debt, he takes the job. I know that a lot of people will find Patty annoying, but I don't think that at all, and I actually like her. On their way to the mansion, Dante shoots a demon in the head on a train in front of Patty with his dual pistols, Ebony and Ivory. And after they leave the train, they go to a hotel, and the hotel innkeeper looks like an ugly character from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I actually like the conversation that Dante and Patty has here. Patty says that she doesn't care about the family fortune, and if she had a little bit of money, she will buy things for the kids at the orphanage that she lives in. Although Dante seems to relate to her story, he just passes it off as just something that's obvious, and he doesn't really bond with her after the conversation, which I feel like is a missed opportunity. But I also feel like it's okay because at this point, Dante has been fighting demons for so long that he is sort of cold by this part of the story. And after he lost Virgil and almost lost Trish, I can kind of excuse it. But I would also like to see if these two characters would have bonded more. Patty then goes to a theater because she heard rumors that her mother was there, and Dante immediately goes after her. And although Patty was tricked, Dante still protects her no matter what, and he fights all the demons in the theater. And the innkeeper reveals that he was working for the people who want to kill Patty, and I don't like the innkeeper. His dialogue is not intimidating at all, and he's just saying his plans in a creepy voice, despite him not being creepy himself. Like, see, even Dante is not intimidated by this guy. And Dante's not intimidated by anybody, but you know what I mean. And when Dante finally gets Patty to the mansion, he finds the real heir to the family fortune, who is also named Patty Lowen. Her plan was for demons to find Patty, but she didn't want Patty to die, so she hired Dante. And Dante killed the demon who was going to kill both Pattys. And by the time the episode ends, Patty now lives with Dante for the rest of the series. I now want to talk about the fight scenes in Devil May Cry, since the original Devil May Cry series was an action game, and I want to talk about the action in this action anime. I'll say that the action is pretty good, that's what I thought. Though Dante has cool poses whenever he fights, I feel like him fighting was too hard to animate, so he's always just shooting demons with guns, or like he fights them stiffly with his rebellion. And the only time where you get to see him fight freely is when the curtain is covered and his fighting is a silhouette. Like, why can't we see that clearly? I guess this is a personal problem because I always wanted the action scenes to look like the opening cutscenes in the video games, and I suppose there are scenes where they kind of look like that. I don't know, I feel like the action could definitely be improved. But it does make up for that for a sort of heartfelt story with Dante and Patty. And if I were to recommend this show to you, I suppose don't go into it expecting just action like in the games, and expect a slower paced story with Dante and some characters from the Devil May Cry series. I guess I can recommend this show to you if you really want something related to Devil May Cry, and if you're feeling nostalgic for that series. But if you're not a fan of the series, and you're just a casual bystander, I can say that you could skip this one. But I will say that my score will be a 7 out of 10 for Devil May Cry, the animated series. Now back to you, Aaron!
Alright, thanks Josh for doing that, really appreciate it. So now we're talking about my favourite one, DMC 3, where it actually starts to have, it's still really cheesy acting, but it's still fun. It's where the current Dante's voice actor actually came in. He did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, you know, like motion capping, as he had to play Dante. He did like the loading screen stuff. A lot of the motions you see Dante and Virgil doing, that's him doing the motion cap. He actually injured himself a lot doing that, but it's actually turning a great game. So, as I've said, this is a prologue. It starts the game off with 19-year-old Dante. A man called Arkham, who is one of the main villains of the game, decides to come in and give him an invitation for a party that his brother is throwing. And then once he just disappears out of thin air, a bunch of demons stab Dante with their scythes, as they're like Grim Reaper looking demons. They stab Dante, and we were thinking he's dead, but this is where cutscene Dante comes in. Starts off with a bunch of cool fighting music, and this is actually the tutorial mission, first mission, allows you to tutorialize it. Shows you how to use the Rebellion, which is Dante's sword in this game, and for the later games, thankfully. I actually like this time for Rebellion, it's just got a skull on it. It's actually what inspired me to actually create my own version of it that I used in my project last year, called Hunting for the Truth, which is a very bad film I made, and I'm actually okay with it now, but there's so much walking. I shouldn't do loads of walking, which is why I'm trying to make smaller videos. But anyway, I'll be putting a link to it in the description below. You can look at it and see what you think. But so after the first mission, Dante has to fight more demons outside his office. He fights a boss demon, and then after that mission, he starts to walk away to the big tower that's risen up out of the ground after he's defeated the last demon, saying,
"It's been nearly a year since we last met. Where does the time go?" No doubt you've got some fun planned for me, right, Virgil?
After this mission is where Dante gets to fight Virgil, which I'll let you look at the clips that I've recorded. Enjoy.
You showed up.
You sure know how to throw a party. No food, no drinks, and the only babe just left.
My sincerest apology, brother. I was so eager to see you, I couldn't concentrate on preparations for the bash.
Whatever. At any rate, it's been a whole year since we last met. How about a kiss from your little brother? Or better yet, how about a kiss from this? So, this is what they call a heartwarming family reunion, eh?
You got that right. Why do you refuse to gain power? The power of our father, Sparta.
Father? I don't have a father. I just don't like you, that's all.
Foolishness, Dante. Foolishness. Might controls everything. And without strength, you cannot protect anything. Let alone yourself.
Finally have it.
Yes. Now the spell Sparta cast will be broken. I see a devil inside you has awakened as well.
Wait. We should leave. For the moment, we have all that we need.
Now this fight is actually easy at the start. There's actually 3 different versions of this fight. 1, this, where he's using the Yamato. 2, where he's using Beowulf. Then his last fight, which is the endgame fight, is the Force Edge. Because this is where he gets the Force Edge for the first one. So, yeah. Now, as you've just seen, he's been stabbed by his brother. Now this is where Dante first unlocks Devil Trigger, as his demonic blood awakens with the power of the rebellion, and now he has to go to the very bottom of the tower, like into the underworld bit, to awaken it. So he decides to jump up inside the tower. It's a real cool sequence, as you can see, that he's running down, he's shooting his demons, and then once he's leaped off to catch the rebellion that he's from down, he gets eaten by a Leviathan. Then he has to kill the Leviathan, breaks out, and keeps going down. He unlocks another weapon called Nathan, which is an electric sword. No, not sword, scythe. Sorry, not guitar in certain forms. He also unlocks Beowulf, but he doesn't get Beowulf as he has to beat Virgil in the second fight. Talking about the second fight, the reason why this whole plot's happening is because Virgil wants to get the Force Edge, which is stuck in the underworld right now. So that's why he had to take Dante's amulet and his amulet together. Now, he could have just went there himself, but he just gets Arkham to do it, stupid. So he's yelling, "Why isn't this working? Must more blood be spilled?" And then him and Dante just start fighting. It's a kind of hard fight. Virgil, it gets harder in each fight. But their blood is what's needed to actually activate the portal, as well as Ladies, as she is a descendant of one of the people who actually closed the demon world with Devil Knight Sparta. And then gets more tracking to get to a certain area as Arkham betrays Virgil. And in the final 2 missions, Dante and Virgil team up and defeat Arkham, which really cool scene. I'll show it to you now.
I'll try it your way for once.
Remember what we used to say? Jackpot.
Not very classy for someone's dying words.
Jump down, they're not going to have to fight, and I'll let you see my whole fight clip. Hope you enjoy it.
Give that to me.
No way. You got your own.
Well, I want yours too.
What are you gonna do with all that power, huh? No matter how hard you try, you're never gonna be like Father.
We're wasting time!
We are the sons of Sparta. Within each of us flows his blood. But more importantly, his soul! And now, my soul is saying it wants to stop you!
Unfortunately, our souls are at odds, brother. I need more power.
And we're supposed to be twins.
Twins. Right. Am I being defeated?
What's wrong? Is that all you got? Come on, get up. You can do better than that.
The portal to the human world is closing, Dante. Because the amulets have been separated.
Let's finish this, Virgil. I have to stop you. Even if that means killing you.
No one can have this, Dante. It's mine. It belongs to a son of Sparta. Leave me and go. If you don't want to be trapped in the demon world, I'm staying. This place was our father's home.
Now Virgil's stuck in the underworld. Dante is protecting the humans. And that's the whole game. And then this is where the actual ending bit of the game is fun, because it gives you a certain amount of time to actually defeat your enemies. And see how many you can defeat. You get like what achievement for how many to beat. There's more stuff to upgrade your weapons. But yeah, that's the original trilogy. And the next video I will be talking about the PS3 era. So yeah.
Hello, you've made it to the outro. Congratulations. So basically, this is the first episode of it. Said I would like to thank Josh, who's here with me right now. Say hello, Josh.
Oh, hello everybody. Thanks for watching our video.
So yeah, the next part will be the PS3 era, and I'll see you then. I've probably already said this in a normal format, but goodbye.